What's good, YouTube? It's your boy T-Flame, T4 adults. I can't get no more. And before I even get into the video, I gotta say this is gonna be a rant. I haven't done one of these since I did that rant on competitive Beyblade burst. I think I did one on what it was, I think Hasbro Beyblade burst and how they were handling it. But really, I don't tend to do rant videos, meaning that something has to have stirred emotions in me to put out a rant video, because you know I there's two parts of this channel. Y'all know that I'm very positive, or I try to be positive. I try to joke around. I try to say things like that. You know what I'm saying? But I also tell the truth, right? I try to be honest and clear with my videos. Even though I'm doing more editing in my videos now, I still keep the video pretty raw because I want you to show I'm not hiding nothing, and I want to show you the good and the bad. Maybe I'm trying to do a video hyping up a part, and the part or the Beyblade doesn't do as good as I want it to. I still put the video up because at the end of the day, I'm being honest, right? And so I can't recreate everything that I do in testing, right? All I can do is show you what happens when I turn the camera on, and I want to keep that genuine and honest. I don't want to, part of this channel is I don't want to just only put the good parts in of like battle testings. I don't want to do that because it's disingenuous. I'm not. People that do that, that's their own thing. But my thing is when you come to this channel, and the community we've built has been based off of me keeping things real, and this is a moment where I am keeping things real. And I gotta tell y'all, the X Over project, if this is a project, it's a failure of a project. I don't like it at all. I just made a community post, and as I was thinking through that community post, I'm like, yeah, I said I was gonna make a video on that community post, and I'm making the video now because it's fresh in my head. And what really is stirring this is the fact that I just got what's really stirring it now is the fact that everything in the 25th anniversary set is complete garbage. And I just did my unboxing a couple days ago, and I swear I've been doing testing. I've been trying to make things good. I mean, first off, I will say Valkyrie is decent, but everyone's already done videos on Valkyrie. Could I do a video on Valkyrie? Absolutely. But really, it has one good combo, and that's like 7 or 560 low rush, which there are a lot of Beyblades that use that setup and that use that setup more effectively. Could you get it to work on Valkyrie? Absolutely. And I've done, when I did Zero Use Sunday videos and just videos on underutilized parts in general, I try to show ways that they can work and admit that, if there's other better ways to make it work, I'll mention those. But with Valkyrie in particular, it's like, with Beyblade X especially, this is supposed to be a competitive thing, right? Beyblade X is being marketed as the most competitive generation, right? So even though you could make something work, when it's a competition, you want to make sure that you are as competitive as possible, right? Even though something could work in a competitive setting, you want something that's going to work more frequently, something that works for you, and something that you can rely on at least. Could you get Valkyrie to work? Sure. But could you get it to work at the same level as everything else? Like, I would honestly argue, this might be the hottest take I've ever said on the channel, but I would argue something like Rhino Horn has a little bit more attack potential than not only Valkyrie, but any X Over Project Bay. Rhino Horn, I'm not going to say is good, but I'm saying you can get Rhino Horn to smack, you can get Rhino Horn to hit things, you can get Rhino Horn to burst things, and it's just, Rhino Horn is notoriously one of the worst Beyblade X bays. And, in terms of mainline releases that are on the same line as like the X Over project, I'd probably say something like Shinobi Shadow is pretty bad, Bear Scratch, Knife Shinobi, those, but it's just like, those are really niche, and they're few and far between. But getting back onto it, Valkyrie could maybe work, but regardless, these Beyblades are not cheap. And it's just, Beyblade as a whole ain't cheap. So if you have limited money and you need to decide what to buy, the X Over project ain't it at all. Zero. There's no reason to buy any X over Project Bay if your budget is tight or you strictly competitive, because there are better ways to get every single part that you would get in the X over project. For example, probably like a lot of X over base may have one or two good parts. Let's take Drigger for example. You get point, right? But why buy Drigger over Leon Claw or Claw Leon, the US one, where you get 560 and point? The Leon Claw Blade ain't the greatest, but you get 560 and point, and it's cheaper, right? Um, I'd say Drasil might be the best value because you get 760 and dot. Dot is exclusive to Black Shell or Shell Obsidian, but now Shell Obsidian is coming out. That means that you can get dot easier. So then 760, you can get that. I mean, honestly, Leon Crest is not that expensive. That's Karatomi one. I know it's going to be a minute before we get in Hasbro, but the Karatomi Leon Crest is not that expensive. You can get that instead of this, right? And the probably one of the worst offenders of all, El Drago, is this bay just pisses me off. This pisses me off, right? This bay single-handedly has been the ever since this guy came out. I did one video on El Drago and I was hyped because I was thinking we're gonna do a lot of videos with it. And I kid you not, since this thing came out in what was it, October? Or was it September? I've been doing testing nonstop with this guy, and you know, the one video I did where he did something, right, where I was able to make this work, was with a modded bit. It wasn't even like an actual Beyblade X part. I had the modded bit that it was able to do well with, right? Which that goes to show these things are so bad. And it's just like, and the El Dragon one, other than like, unlike, you know, the other two that I was talking about that have one part, honestly, there's no reason to there's no parts on here that are valuable. Like 160, there's no reason to get this overdrawn buster. There's zero reason to get this overdrawn buster. And you know, I get it. People say that these are supposed to be for collection purposes, right? But at the same time, the people that buy Beyblade X for collection purposes are in the minority. And they are especially in the minority when in this generation that is focused on competitive, and Takeru Tomy is pushing competitive. The whole idea of buying a Bay for collection purposes is at an all-time low. And it's like, compared to any other generation, Takeru Tomy's pushing competitive the most. It is like anti-consumer and just, I don't know what this kind of business practice is, but why on earth would you make a product that goes against the message you are sending? People say that, oh, it's because they want to make it so that way the remakes are bad, so that way people are pushed to buy the newer product, right? People, if the remakes like El Drago is bad, they're gonna go towards the newer product like Cobalt Dragoon because that one's better, right? Because it's trying to show the new one is better. If that's the idea, why sell this in the first place? You're taking a loss if you do that. If you are a business, right? If you are a business, everything you sell has to have a purpose. Now, I get it. Businesses sometimes do or sell things at a loss to make other products look better. That happens. Big companies do it. That's the only real company I think of doing that does it, because big companies have money that they could just throw away that doesn't matter. I think probably the biggest example that comes to my mind is, as a tech guy, freaking maybe like the new iPhone 16e. That's just, for example, it's basically supposed to be a budget iPhone, but it's essentially the same price as the previous iPhone, like Pro. Like the iPhone 15 Pro, you can get that for the same price as this new budget iPhone 16e, which is like, you should obviously go buy the used one, right? And so, but also Apple is using it to show off the newer, more expensive iPhones, right? They want to push you towards the more expensive iPhones because those are better, right? But the thing is, this is Beyblade, not Apple, right? Apple can do that because Apple has money to just piss away, right? Excuse my language. But Beyblade is not really like that. And you know what? The fact that they are doing remakes in the first place, this adds a completely different, like, even try. I can't even understand it from a company perspective because Apple, at least, it's a technology thing that's different. But Beyblade, you're doing this because you're trying to reach out, and it's like you're showing respect, and like playing, like, it's like showing like respect and giving back to the fans that have been supporting Beyblade for a long time. But it's like you're giving back to them by remaking Beyblades from their childhood, but you're making them worse. Like, it's like I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Like, if it's just to make the new products look better, why make it in the first place? And then from there, the whole trying to just, like, I don't get it. Like, even when I was trying to connect it to Apple for that, like in the example I just mentioned, that's just me trying to make sense of it because it does not make sense in my head. Like, collectors is a minority, and especially Beyblade is not a collector thing. Are there people out there that are like, I want to collect Beyblades and keep them sealed? Sure. But that is the idea of Beyblade. The product of Beyblade is competitive to fight. And you know what else? Specifically with the 25th anniversary set, you literally get four freaking launchers. You get the regular launcher that has like gold text on it. You get the Dragoon. This is the first left spin ripcord we're getting, right? And you get two string launchers. If they didn't want you to battle with these guys, like, it's like, if it's for collection purposes, why put the string launchers? Who displays a launcher in their collection? They don't. They only display the Beyblades, right? So it's like Takara wants you to battle with them, but they want you to battle with them to see how bad they are. You know what? You know what? Maybe the remakes are supposed to be their own metagame. Maybe we need to do a tier or a format that is remakes only, and then that might be interesting. Have it to where you can only use X overlays, but I don't get it. I don't get it. And I mean, Excalibur, from what I'm seeing, is supposed to be decent, but the problem with Excalibur is the weight. And even if it has that good contact point, it has to, like, it falls in the category of you need to win at the first few seconds of the battle. And at that point, why would you spend all that money on Excalibur when you could just get Drawn Buster? If you have all the money in the world, I guess this doesn't matter. But with inflation, stupid tariffs, and everything, prices are on the up. It's like every dollar matters more now than ever. And you know what? Hasbro's been handling Beyblade X great because it's affordable and accessible. But honestly, if Hasbro didn't want to make any of the X over bays, I would be completely fine and I would love them for it, because I would rather, honest to goodnessly, not have remakes. Period. I would rather not have remakes. Period. Than to have something like this, because this is like spitting in my face. It's like saying, we love you for your support. Here is a beautiful piece of garbage. This is literally what these are. This is a beautiful, like, in terms of capturing a dragon, beautiful. The design, beautiful. The fact that they have two molds to kind of show the different modes, beautiful. It is a beautiful piece of garbage, which is just like, why? And something I didn't touch on that's coming to my mind is that also the remix for Beyblade Burst, which Beyblade Burst set the precedent for remakes, right? Which there were quite a bit of bad remakes for Beyblade Burst, quite a bit, but there was also a lot of good ones. Galaxy Pegasus, Storm Pegasus, Lightning El Drago, Meteor El Drago, Gravity Perseus, Burn Phoenix. A lot of the Metal Fight remakes were good. A lot of them were good. A lot of them were usable, right? Now, a few of them were really, really bad. Rock Leone, Earth Eagle, Flame Sagittario, were really bad. But at least, El Drago was valid. At least Pegasus was good. And another thing that just okay, now I kind of got all of the just existential whatever, or trying to understand the thing out of the way. Now we can get into, just the bays themselves. And that's just like, objectively, if you're buying a Beyblade, you're going to compare it to the other Beyblades you got, right? And so, just looking at them as Beyblades, of course, I said they're bad, but it's like, looking at why they're bad too is also just a whole nother thing that's just even more infuriating. Because it's like, the shapes already are not the greatest. For example, the plastic gen remakes are all, we're doing geometry because they're all just shapes. You got this deformed oval with two, like, got the round sides and then two flats right there. You got, what is this, a hexagon. You got a octagon. I don't know. Wait, no, octagon's five sides. I don't know the shapes, but you got shapes. You got shapes, which, and then with Dragoon you got another square, right? And with shapes, all right, shapes, they're not going to be good, right? But it's like, with Dragoon in particular, that really just ticks me off is that obviously the shapes are already going to be bad. Why the hell is it imbalanced? It's already bad. Why do you feel the need to imbalance it? It's already bad. It's already going to be bad. It's like, they went out of their way, they went the extra mile to make sure these things suck. Because these are intentionally made to be bad. It's not just like the shape is bad and doesn't work. They went out of their way to make them even worse. And Dragoon in particular, one of the design aspects that I want to show you, that why I have these out, to show you just why this is just the most just worst one, is that freaking so, at least with this one, with Trigger, right, as you can see, when it spins, at least you have this little point right here that gives a little upper, or like a little something that can at least make that attack. You spin it to the right, you got that little joint right there. With Dragoon, you know what? This is even on. Wait, I think, did I call this Trigger? This is Dronzer. On Trigger, Trigger even has the same thing. Drasil does it, but I don't know how you would put that on here. But with Dragoon, they did it, but they did it in a way that this would never make contact, because this is spinning. Wait, this is spinning to the, like. They did it in the way where, like look, you have this going upper. Wait, hold up. You got this upper right here, and then they did it to where. Wait, let me just make sure I'm doing this right, because I'm trying to make sure I got the spin directions right. Alright, I guess I'm wrong. I was gonna say they made it like completely like they made it shaped wrong, I guess. But nah, okay, they have it angled right there, right? But I mean, at least this has like a gap right here that can create some sort of smash. This can create some sort of attack. This can create some sort of attack. This will do nothing. Because literally it's slope. I mean, that should help with upper. But that just, it's like, they could have just, honestly, like, why not just make this round? Make this a circle. It could have done something. But, okay, I thought I was going to rant about something, but turns out I was wrong. Because I thought this was not shaped the way I thought it was. I thought it was shaped, okay. Looking at it, I was wrong. But still, regardless, why is it imbalanced? Like, actually, why? Why is this imbalanced? There is zero reason for this to be imbalanced. Like, they are already going to be bad. Why imbalance it? I don't get it. But the other part, the other bay I want to talk about is Storm Pegasus, which Storm Pegasus in Metal Fight was already bad, which is why it was surprising that it was good in Burst. But in Metal Fight, it was already bad. It was already bad. And in Burst, I mean, not in Burst, in Beyblade X, just porting the shape would make it bad. But no, they couldn't just port the shape. They had to go out the extra mile to give this thing a freaking imbalance. I don't get it. So the imbalance, as you can see, I'm just gonna break this down. So as you can see, this one is completely hollow. This one has a little metal in the middle. I mean, metal towards the end of the wing. This one has metal towards the end of the wing. This one is just completely hollow. So why? And you know what else? I'll show you something. At least with Dragoon is imbalanced, but you can use 160 and 760 and 560 to offset the balance. With Pegasus, it doesn't matter if you take the 160 ratchet, you will never be able to balance it or attempt to balance it. You won't, because of the way they particularly made this. When you put the one-sided ratchet on it, it will either go towards this wing or this wing, and not at all to the one that needs to be hollowed. I mean, the one that's hollowed, the one that needs to be filled. With Cobalt Dragoon, at least the part where it's hollowed, where it has that little hole in the side where it creates an imbalance, you can align the ratchets to kind of sort of negate that imbalance. Why not at least give, like, I would think at least if you could orient 160 to be able to offset the balance, at least that's something, right? But it's like they go out of their way to make these bad. El Drago, both of them are imbalanced, which is like, I mean, it'd be different if they made it imbalanced for attack purposes, so that way they could attack, but they did the exact opposite. They made them imbalanced and nerfed the shapes. Like, the shapes are already bad. They don't need any additional nerfing. I don't get it. And then with Valkyrie, I feel like maybe they made this one good enough because the Burst fans that maybe they're still trying to get Burst fans to come to Beyblade X, they'll see Valkyrie, they'll be like, yo, Valkyrie, I gotta get that. So I'm gonna get the whole set. Oh crap. Valkyrie's the best one out of all the set because Valkyrie can beat all the other X over Bays in the set. But even then, it's like maybe they want to get the Beyblade Burst fans in here, but the Beyblade Burst fans, they get in here because they see Valkyrie and they buy Excalibur and see Excalibur is not great, and then they, like, I don't know if they'll be burned. I mean, shoot, if I was a Burst fan and that happened to me, I'd be upset. I'd be like burned. I'd feel upset. I don't get it. Like, why? Like, the main people who are going to buy these Beyblades are the ones that are going to battle with them. There is not the majority. The majority of people buy Beyblades to use, to battle. Like, again, like I said, Takara Tomy is pushing this generation to be the most competitive generation. Why are they doing this spiteful thing? If anything, if they made these competitive, if they made these good, do you know how many people would get back into Beyblade? Imagine if you're seeing Beyblade X and you see El Drago. You haven't seen Beyblade in a minute, but you see Lightning El Drago, and it's good. It's like Pokemon. Pokemon takes Charizard from however been around for longer than I've been alive, over 25, more than 25 years. Charizard's been around since, what was it, 98 or whatever? Charizard's been out forever, and they give Charizard new forms because, let's say someone gets back into Pokemon and they see a new Charizard, they're like, yo, I remember Charizard. Let me get back into Pokemon because I see Charizard. They gave it a new form. Why not? And it works for Pokemon. Pokemon does this nostalgia stuff great, and it works for them. People come back to Pokemon games because they see their favorite Pokemon from whatever got some new form, and now they're back. And it's like, it seems like that would be a smarter marketing thing. Now, I don't know anything about business. I didn't study business. I studied politics, funnily enough. Y'all probably don't know that. But I don't understand that from a business perspective. Because wouldn't it make more sense to show off, make every product something that is valuable, right? In multiple ways. Something that would draw in consumers. Rather than just bait consumers, why not have something that would at least show your love to them. I mean, if you're showing your love to your consumer, to your fan base, if you're showing your love to your fan base, why spit in their face for giving you money? Because the people that are gonna buy this are people who have been supporting Beyblade for years, spend thousands, hundreds of dollars on these tops. If this is who you're supposed to be, giving your love to, why make this? Because if I'm giving love to a friend that I haven't seen in a minute, or a friend not even that I haven't seen in a minute, let's say a friend that's been helping me for a long time, I'm giving them a gift. I don't want to give them some of this shit. I want to give them something that's valuable. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give my friend a piece of garbage. Like, or take a piece of garbage, wrap it in wrapping paper, wrap it real nice, put some glitter on that joint, make it look real nice, and then they open it and they see what it is, and it's garbage. I wouldn't do that to my friend, to my OGs that's been supporting. This is 25th anniversary remake set. My friends from 25 years ago. Granted, I was born 25 years ago, but my friends from when I was a child, from when I was a kid, that's been supporting me through time, through everything. I wouldn't give them something like this. I don't understand the business practice behind this. I don't get it. I don't know if it's just something I'm not getting. Well, it's something I'm not getting, evidently. But it's just all the justifications people use to explain why Karen Tomy does this make zero sense. And I pointed out why all of them make zero sense. For collectors, most people that buy Beyblades aren't collectors. To make the new products look better, that's a waste of money at that point. You shouldn't even. And you know what else I'll say? I would rather. One last thing. I'd rather have. The thing I do like is. Well, Aero Pegasus, how it's a callback to Galaxy Pegasus. Unfortunately, it's a gotcha thing, but whatever. The fact that that's an homage to Galaxy Pegasus. You got freaking Cobalt Dragoon. That's an homage to Dragoon from Plastic Gen. We're getting Perseus Dark. That is an homage to Gravity Perseus. I would rather that than the X-Over project. I would rather that. And I hope Takara Tomy keeps doing that, because if anything, I'd rather have bays be completely remade, because then that way they are usable. Right? I'd rather have something that's usable rather than something that's just garbage. But anyway, if you watched all 20, damn near 30 minutes of this, I appreciate you. I just needed to get this out. Just because I swear I've been testing and trying to figure out how to do a video on the X-Over stuff that isn't just Valkyrie is good. But I mean, even I, who is someone who I built my platform on trying to give love to parts that might not be used or might not be as good as other parts, I just struggle because I genuinely can't find a way to use these guys other than putting this thing on a flat, taking a winder launcher and pulling it as hard as possible. But that's not interesting, right? That's not interesting. I did that for Viper Tail and y'all did not like that video. I could tell because no one watched it. So I don't want to just do that. I don't want to make that a trend of, I made a joke about it in that video saying like, hey, every time we come to a Beyblade that isn't good, I'm just going to throw it on a flat bit and just rip it as hard as I can. I mean, granted, that's fun a little bit to just rip as hard as you can and see what happens. But the fact that I just did that for Viper Tail, I don't want to do that for Dragoon. And you know what else? Something else I was thinking. I was going to do a video that I might not do. It depends. I need to do more testing. But I was thinking, because we finally have a winder, a left winder, does that mean El Drago's good? My initial testing says no. What I think this is going to do is going to make Dragoon on level. That's going to be better on this. Elevate is better with the string launcher because you don't need that much power with Elevate because you're going to equalize. But level, you want to hit a little harder. So being able to get a little bit more power to your launches. But That's gonna be its own video. But anyway, I'm tired. I just I wanted to make this video because I'm just that upset. It's just I'm hurt. Well, not hurt, but I mean it's a toy. I mean it's a collector thing, but it's just like I put my money into this joint. I have to work for every dollar I get, and I have to grind. And to grind for something like this, and to be excited, and to kind of just get slapped in the face by a company that you've given a lot of money to, that I've given a lot of, I love Beyblade the franchise. I love the Beyblade franchise, and to just be like essentially given something, like being acknowledged as, because this is supposed to be for the fans, right? These remakes are supposed to be for the fans. To be given something that is like, this is for you, but feels like I'm getting spit on, like I'm getting punched in the face, is just like, that's not a good. I don't get it. I don't respect it. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do a video on the remakes. I don't want to do. I really don't want to do a Victory Valkyrie video because there's already 50 of them. Um, I think I'm probably just gonna go back to doing meta stuff because honestly, I've been trying to prepping on a video for a remake. Like honestly, whenever there goes a stretch of time without me uploading, it's because I'm testing something and I don't want to just throw out a video without feeling like I can genuinely demonstrate something. And so I mean, I really have been testing a bunch of things, and I haven't really gotten that good results with anything. Um, Obviously, we have the meta, right? But my thing is, I want to throw out ideas that kind of break the meta, which I have an idea of two things, but well, that's going to be its own video. But anyway, it's just, let me wrap this up. I've said everything I think I want to say. Um, I've literally been talking to the camera for 30 minutes. I'm gonna, yeah, it's time for me to go to bed. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Am I overreacting? Maybe. If you somehow understand this, let me know. But anyway, thank you for listening. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.